Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be reacting to The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 18. This episode is going to be focused on Daryl mainly, and we're going to get some flashbacks to his days after Rick left, and we're going to see the origin of how he found Dog and the woman he met who was the previous owner of Dog. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty good Daryl-centric episode. We're going to get a lot of tension between Daryl and Carol, and they're the heart of The Walking Dead, so I'm excited to see it. And I also posted a video on this the other day, but there is breaking news that Season 11 is starting in the summer. We don't know when, but it's just going to be premiering in the summer, likely ending in spring of 2022. So these episodes are really going to start ramping up. We're going to have non-stop content every week until, well, probably the end of the year. So I'm really excited about that. Anyways, let's get into this episode.
Yep, Daryl Central episode. We're going to get to see Dog in it.
So is this like a flashback to events that happened years and years ago?
Well, it's going to be kind of a mix of what's happening now and flashbacks to Daryl living on his own.
I remember seeing the dog. That was a few years back.
Yeah.
But,
he got the dog after the time jump after Rick died.
after Rick died.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you think?
Well, just so the viewers know, I'm not necessarily feeling well today. I had my gallbladder taken out a couple months ago, and my stomach's still hurting me. But anyways, on that note, I want to watch Walking Dead, and...
Or are you looking forward to seeing Carol? Because she's like your favorite character.
Woohoo, yep.
Yeah.
Carol and Carol are my favorite characters. They have been since pretty much Season 1, especially Season 2 on. I feel like I was the one who started out liking Daryl. I never heard anybody else saying they liked Daryl, except for me, even online. And now there's so many Daryl people, and I'm like, hey, wait, I liked him way back when.
I do have a question for you. Do you think you were more on Daryl or Carol's side with the Whisperer War and what she wanted to do with Alpha? Because were you more sided with they needed to kill Alpha and end the war, or was it not worth risking losing people like what happened with Connie? They kind of got into that argument, and we're probably going to see a little bit of that now.
That's a really tough call. I probably would be more like Carol, having 2 sons myself. If somebody like that, Alpha, had killed one of my boys and I found their head on a stick, I would be Carol.
Yeah.
So I can say that. I would be like, she has to die, she must die at all costs.
Yeah.
So, since I would feel that way, I have to be Team Carol. Sorry, Daryl, don't
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
But I mean, if you put it into perspective, how you feel if that was you?
Yeah.
Then, of course, I understand where Carol was coming from.
But you also see from Daryl's point of view,
right.
she's...
If I wasn't in that position, if I wasn't Carol, I would be Daryl.
Yeah.
But if it was my son, then I would totally do what she did. So it just depends on who you are. If you were the one affected by it, then you would be Carol. But if you're not the one directly affected, it's like Maggie wanted Negan dead, so you could see where she came from. So yeah, I guess if I had a pick, I would be Team Carol.
Yeah.
That's a tough decision between Carol and Daryl, because they're my 2 favorite characters. I got my purple notebook for notes.
Okay. All right, do you have any thoughts going into this one?
I don't know if I have any thoughts going into it about the content of the episode, but I will say Daryl is my absolute favorite character. Rick is a very close second, but I've always been a Daryl fan on Walking Dead. So I'm glad this is an episode dedicated to him and Carol, obviously. To that point, I've always liked Carol too. She's had a great arc of character development through the beginning of the series, to where we are now. But to what you and our mom was just talking about Carol and
what side do you think
Carol was a crazy bitch in all of season. In a lot of
season 10,
wherever it was, when she was just grief stricken. And I get it, her kid died. I'm not a parent, so I can't understand it from her point of view. But there were multiple, not 1, not 2, not even 3, more than that, multiple occasions where she was just doing whatever with no regard for anybody else's life.
She wasn't thinking about that. She saw Alpha and went for it, and then think about.
Not to mention, there were plenty of times, like the point where they're in the cave and she goes off who knows where to try to set off a bomb, and almost slips and falls down the cavern. It's like, what the hell are you gonna do now? that was another thing that kind of threw me off of season 10 at least, and just where the show is going in general. I was like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, she saw an opportunity to take out the Horde and she went for it. I don't think that's unrealistic.
That's totally it. Not being a parent, you can't understand if that as a parent, and not all parents probably feel this way. There'll probably be some moms who would be like, well, I still wouldn't do what Carol did, but I'm obviously Carol's not that mom.
You definitely would.
And right, I'm not that mom either. I'm not the mom who would just not go that route. I'm the mom who would do what Carol did. And yes, in your right mind, you wouldn't affect everybody else, but she wasn't in her right mind. She kind of was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Her mind was clouded, and I think mine would be too. So I totally understand.
I agree. And for the thing he was talking about in the cave, I don't think she was just not thinking. She didn't think that it's gonna cause problems to the group.
I don't know if Daryl spoke up to her before or after the scene in the cave, but I know
he did before.
There was at least one or two, a couple scenes where Daryl sat down and talked to her and was like clearly the level-headed one in the conversation, saying, "Look, I want to kill him as much as you do. I want to beat him as much as you do, but." He
says to her, "You want her so dead so bad you don't even care what happens to us."
Yeah, exactly. And again, he's likely not a dad either. Yeah. So he can't really see it from
when
point
you're
of view.
overshadowed by grief.
Well, Daryl was the same way.
At some point, you gotta just stop trying to get.
Well, Daryl was the exact same way in season 7 and 8 after he felt responsible for Glenn dying. He even says that when they're talking in the cave, I believe. He's saying, "I know how you feel," but he says, like, "I know how you feel, but you need to stop."
But she wasn't going to stop at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just not. There was going to be no end until Alpha was dead.
I'll put it this way: she just should have let Negan out from the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, she did before all that drama. When she let Negan out, that's a flashback to before they really got into the war.
Yeah.
So she let him out, and then she was pissed, like, what the.
She should have trusted him.
Well, she did trust him, but she was like, what the.
Just aggravated.
She's like, well, Negan's taking forever. Alpha's still not dead. I need to do something about it.
Maggie would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
And Maggie would do it now to Negan but she's trying to keep the peace. But if she could do it, she's not quite as crazy as Carol, so she's not gonna do it. But she wants to.
Yeah.
She just has a little more self-control. Carol just. But we all know Carol's a badass. She lit people on fire a couple episodes ago. Just totally set them on fire and let them burn to death. I mean, did you expect Carol to just take the nice way out? Nope. Team Carol!
What was Carol like in like season 1 or season 2? Did she have a husband who she lost?
Yeah, she had an abusive husband, and then she, throughout the apocalypse, became battle-hardened.
More and more independent.
Punisher beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I kind of remember the abusive husband. Did they have kids there?
She had a daughter, Sophia, who died.
Yeah.
And then she adopted Lizzie and Mika, and they died. And she adopted Henry, and he got his head cut off.
Kids say she
Sophia's-
shot Lizzie.
Yeah, she had to. That's even worse. She had to shoot her own daughter.
Carol's had to make a lot of tough decisions, and it's come a long way. Lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there'd be many a mom who would do exactly what she did, and
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Team Carol.
Start.
So what would happen if, let's put it in perspective, Jack. What if it was your little brother? You love your little brother, and then you go, you see his head, his zombie head on a stick. Alpha killed him.
And also like a bunch of your band friends too. Just random people,
Right.
all their heads on pikes.
Not just Jake, it's several other people that you care about.
Andy,
Yeah,
Juan,
whatever
Gramsci,
said.
bunch of people.
Gramsci's, Jake's.
Johnson.
Yeah,
Well, that'd be kind of
Johnson.
funny.
I would probably kill the person.
Exactly.
But there are better ways to go about it. See, okay,
Well, of course
my entire thinking is that Carol kept doing these crazy random things when she was with everybody else in her group that she cares about. Go off on your own and be.
Because
She did do that multiple. She tried every opportunity she had to kill her.
And that also begs the question, like when I said if it was one of my kids' heads up there, I would be just like Alpha, and I would. But I didn't realize till we're talking about it now again that it wouldn't just be one of my kids' head. It'd be several other
Yeah.
people I love too.
Even if you don't know them very well, it's
Right.
just a lot of people.
Of course, I'm team.
Well, can I
Daryl
say-
Way.
say-
Alpha must die.
I always thought it was hilarious, the scene before they get trapped in the cave when Alpha is just like running out there. She looks like she's like teasing Carol, like, haha, I'm right here.
Yeah.
She's just like running out. And then Carol, like, of course, if she sees Alpha just standing there in the middle of the forest, there's no danger present. Of course, she's gonna go after her. She didn't know they were gonna get trapped in the cave.
Right.
Scarlett, what do you think? You're excited to see Dog? Dog's gonna be back. Yeah. All right, let's get into it. Walking Dead season 10, episode 18.
Finally got home. It was trashed.
This music is different.
Walls were
Yeah,
damaged.
music.
Roof destroyed.
They used the same one for years.
Dog. Was it Daryl's classic bite?
We can use the scraps to make a patch at the wall.
I want to hunt whatever's still left out there to hunt.
Do me a favor and not talk the whole time we're out here. This is what I'm talking about.
You're the one who started talking.
Every sheep way around.
Dog was leading.
Yeah, she would sprint and then get worn out.
Well,
Is it a
the other
deer?
deer are probably long gone by now. With this, losing Alexandria, everything that's good in the world is not on our side anymore. It's had a good long run, longer than most. We know this world. The dead is going to catch up to us eventually.
If we let it.
You heard the doorbell ring. It is funny.
Next time a doorbell rings, I'm gonna say that.
Dog!
That's what I heard. There was some cabin.
I'm supposed to assume that this is a cabin that he lived in.
During like the time jump. Aww, the dog remembered.
I'm hoping that they at least mention Rick in this episode. And sooner or later, Daryl's gonna find out about where Michonne went.
Does anybody else know where she went besides Judith?
Judith and Virgil. They're probably gonna tell him like in the middle of the action in season 11. Because if he found out right now, he would leave immediately and go searching.
5 years ago.
Yeah, that's we saw him in that little.
Aww,
Oh, his little puppy.
little dog.
That's sweet.
That's probably all the spots he's searched. You just can't find a body anywhere. I think it's sad.
How's Michonne? How's the kids?
Daryl, it's been 2 years. How long do you plan to stay out here?
He thinks that could be Rick under there.
It shows how close they were. Like he's so depressed that he can't even get closer.
Was he gonna lose his man?
Never seen him scream like that before.
Yeah.
So he's been out there 2 years.
Yeah. His name's Boy right now. He changed that to Dog.
Who the hell are you?
Your dog led me here.
Yeah. I wonder if she died or something.
Bad idea.
You gonna kill me?
Should I? Something tells me you don't really want to die.
I didn't come here looking for any trouble.
Kind of sounds like Negan's
That's what I was
theme
thinking, yeah.
in the background.
It's like Negan vibes.
Maybe she's an ex-savior or something.
You let me go.
Get out.
It's an interesting way of throwing your book back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that later.
Yeah, he does that with his vest too. He'll like throw it over.
Oh man, what the heck?
Yeah, he still has a scar from that, and
Now, did that happen on his face?
we don't know yet.
Thanks for bringing it back.
Tell me your name. What about his?
Dog.
That's it, just Dog.
You got something better?
So it wasn't Daryl who called him dog.
That's something he would do though.
Yeah.
Man, he's really hurt.
Like Carl and Enid. Come here, cat.
Name's Leah.
I was trying to be nice.
I don't need you to be nice. I don't need you to be anything.
It's like two
No,
Luke
come around again.
Skywalkers.
Good.
Both
Right.
want to be left alone. That's a reused shot. That was from episode 16. Yeah, that's the exact same shot. They reused it.
I thought it was something coming in this,
The
like
cat.
into the frame.
The cat standing on the TV.
He wants food.
Cat.
Cat. She said it's his son.
I didn't have a family. I didn't give birth to him. I was separated from my family and I ran. It felt like I ran forever. And I ended up here and I said goodbye to him the same day Dog was born. Humans.
My brother.
What brother he means.
It's an accident. I never found the body.
That
I think he's still out there.
But I'm not gonna stop till I find out.
Let's get another one.
This is probably what people were talking about when they said because he's not with Carol or Connie. Well, yeah, he was definitely with her.
What happens?
Where do you belong, Daryl? Looking for your dead brother day after day after day? Or do you belong here with me?
You just get her back to Alexandria with you.
Yeah, you should totally
She's
do.
really so uptight she can't go back to Alexandria.
Yeah, because they're both grieving.
Nah, he's moving. Somebody dead around here.
Here,
And I got a girlfriend.
can I bring a friend to kiss?
Oh, she knows.
She said, can I bring a friend to gift, meaning him?
Maybe she did.
You asking for my permission?
I don't want to lose you because you can't figure out when to stop.
The dog usually finds him before he gets to the house.
Oh yeah. Dog. I belong with you. Find me. That's the title of the episode.
I should have been there.
There's Emily, that's not on you. Neither is Rick.
Oh, she shouldn't have said that.
Well, that's on you, because you never know when to stop.
That's what she said to him in a flashback.
But I'm not sorry for going after the horde, and I'm not sorry for...
And that's all that matters. You being right. You wanted to run. You couldn't deal with the guilt.
Your only problem is thinking you have to save everybody.
Friends don't have the same damn conversation over and over again.
Well, then you should have just let me get back on the boat.
Run. I know where I'm supposed to be.
Our luck's run out, you and me.
Oh my gosh. Stupid ending on a sad note.
That was really sad. So this episode I thought was a little bit underwhelming compared to episode 17 because it was just more character focused on Daryl. There wasn't as much action, but I still really enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the connections to what was going on during that time period. And I just enjoyed how sad it was almost seeing Daryl just looking for Rick and not being able to find him. And it just makes me that much more happy to see him discover that he's alive when he inevitably will. But yeah, I am curious to see what happened to Leah because that was just, that ending sucked. She just left and we don't know why. And I don't know if we're ever gonna find out why. Oh, and also a moment that I really liked was when Daryl said, I lost my brother. I really liked that. He didn't say I lost a friend or I lost Rick. He said I lost my brother. I thought that was a really sweet moment. And of course it was really awesome to see Dog, but I don't know, not much really happened in this episode. I'm looking forward to the other ones about the Commonwealth and Gabriel and all that, so let's see what everyone else thought.
All right, I took notes. First of all, I just thought that I liked the episode because it was dedicated to Carol and Daryl, my two, we were saying at the beginning, they're my two favorite people, so it was really cool having an episode just about them and their friendship. And even though they were kind of arguing at the end, they'll get past this, they'll move on. They can make it past the hard stuff. They have before, they will again. And Dog is just great. What more can you say? Pretty cool having a dog in the Walking Dead. I like that. I hope they better not kill Dog like they did the tiger.
Oh, yeah.
Dog better make it. I'm gonna be really mad.
Well, he survived the Whisperer War. I think he'll be good.
Yeah.
He's a tough dog.
I thought kind of interesting at the end that Daryl was upset with Carol, and I realized it was Carol's fault what happened to Connie, but he was like, you couldn't let it go. But isn't he ironically doing the same thing with Rick? I mean, it's kind of ironic that human nature can't see that you're doing the same thing yourself. I understand he wants to find Rick.
I don't think that's a fair comparison, but Daryl is known when he loses somebody, he does the same thing.
Right, and he's kind of doing the same thing, in my opinion, with looking for Rick's body. I mean, how many years has it been that he's been out there? Is it like 4 or 5 years? Yeah. Obviously, you're not finding it. You're not going to find it, but he won't let it go. But yet, Carol was supposed to. So I just find it ironic, and that's kind of human nature. That you can see it in somebody else, but you can't see it in yourself.
My point was that yes, it is ironic that he's telling Carol that she couldn't move on with Alpha killing Henry. That is ironic, but the difference is that Daryl not willing to let it go. Whatever problems he faces, his to face alone. He's
Yeah.
not with the group.
That's a good
why
point.
Carol was crazy, because she was, again, it's understandable. Daryl's doing the same thing, but he's alone. Whatever trouble he
Okay.
brings on himself, he'll deal
I have
with
a counterpoint though. That is a really good point, and I agree. He's not really putting anybody else in harm's way the way Carol did. But by him being gone, isn't helping. Like maybe the people who he was with, although he's not harming them the way Carol did, they could use him. He's off on his own, and he's an asset. I just think he should maybe spending a year looking for Rick, but then come back and be helpful to the community.
I don't think that's a really fair comparison. I think a better comparison would be when he was doing anything in his power to kill Negan because he felt responsible for Glenn's death.
Yeah.
And I guess Jack does have a point in that when he would just go off on his own or just try to kill Negan when he had a chance, that didn't necessarily affect anyone else, but at the same time, the war and Negan in general was already affecting everyone else, so any attempt to kill him, I mean, I think it's pretty much the same. He acted the same way as Carol did. He tried to go and kill Negan, and just like Carol, she tried to go and kill Alpha. But there's going to be collateral damage when you're going after the leader of the enemy like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's a better comparison because they're both trying to win the war.
Obviously, everybody has different opinions about it. Everybody, we would go about things all in different ways, which shows the show how they would go about it in different ways. Like I might do it one way, Jack might do it another, you might do it another. They're doing a good job of showing that, at least, that everybody's different, but maybe not so different after all.
You could even argue that Rick was worse than Daryl and Carol in his quest on killing people when he attacked the Savior outpost, and that wasn't even out for revenge. That was just for power to assert his dominance on this group, so he decided to kill every last one of them, and then that ended up causing a lot of deaths with Negan. So I mean, just the different choices people make have different outcomes, and I don't think it's really anyone's fault per se. Like Carol didn't want Connie to die, obviously.
I guess that goes back to my whole point when I said it's ironic that Daryl, whatever scenario you want to use, Daryl isn't understanding of where, I mean, he is a little bit, it's hard to explain.
But at this point, he's just so frustrated with her.
He's frustrated, and he's allowed to be frustrated, and I get it.
Yeah.
But since I'm team Carol, I guess I have to argue Carol's side and wish that he would be more understanding and realize Henry getting killed was like Glenn getting killed.
Yeah.
And you can't let that go. But anyways, I just found it ironic that it seemed to me that Daryl was doing the same thing out there, not letting it go, looking for Rick's body, but yet he wanted Carol, says that Carol should have let it go. It's kind of like, unless you're the one hurting, you really can't let it go. I mean, because you're the one hurting. But anyways, I thought that was interesting. And then my question about Leah is, why would she leave and not take Dog? I thought that was weird. Like, did she leave Dog behind for Daryl?
Maybe she got taken by the CRM too.
I was just thinking.
Maybe she's with Rick and he's gonna find both of them. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's gotta be more to it, 'cause I don't think she would leave that dog. I think she loved that dog. And even though she let Daryl around the dog and stuff, and the dog loved Daryl, I don't think Leah would have been like, oh, I'm gonna leave Dog with Daryl. That doesn't make any sense.
I love that point. That's just like Rick.
You heard it here first.
He wouldn't just leave like that, and she wouldn't just leave like that, so they have to be together then. I love that. That is great. Okay.
And the last thing I wanted to say was, when it showed Daryl sitting there in the rain, it really captured like what it's like to be in the zombie apocalypse in this bad weather, like especially for people who don't have somewhere to live, just out there in the rain, and then just it looked brutal. And then when he's cold and rainy, and then him screaming, you never see a reaction like that from Daryl.
He just hit rock bottom there.
I know he was just screaming for everything, and probably mostly because he couldn't find Rick, but the weather just tied in with all that.
The map getting destroyed.
And maybe they should more often show us the weather, because I don't think we really know, because they don't show us that often with the weather. So I like that little part that they showed.
What did you think of this episode?
boring.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially if you don't know the characters.
Yeah, it was not my favorite by far. But I did like, and nobody's yet mentioned, Little Dog.
Yeah.
You got to see Dog, but Little Dog was the highlight of the show for me.
Oh, that's cute.
You like it? Yeah, she liked it.
Oh, I did have one thought on the episode. You were talking about Lee, is it Leah?
I think it's Leia.
Leia, anyway, where she left. I thought maybe they didn't show enough detail that I couldn't tell what was going on, but I thought maybe she didn't just leave, that something happened. Because didn't he say later on, I should have been there?
Yeah, he did.
And so I thought maybe it was like...
Yeah, they didn't really explain
she got
that.
out by some enemy troop or walkers and left in a hurry. They should have broken glass. And I thought maybe some kind of tussle happened in there.
Yeah.
So I didn't necessarily get the feeling that she left of her own will, that maybe something bad happened. They didn't really explain it.
Yeah, he just kind of disappeared. All right, what do you have for us?
Yeah, I think Leia, whatever her name is, was probably taken by the CRM or somebody else. Because if it was a walker, there'd be remains there. There'd be something there for him to find. So either she just left or she was taken.
Leia, Rick, and Madison are all together.
Yes, that'll be the coming together point.
You think Rick got her somehow?
No, I'm saying Rick.
Held hostage by the CRM.
Rick.
And they got her too. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that is what we're saying.
Yeah. What I wrote was Daryl feels like he shouldn't be with anybody because everyone he cares about, he eventually loses one way or another.
Yeah.
So I think in the moment when he's arguing with Carol at the end, he feels like one way or another, whether it's somebody dies or they leave because he doesn't know what happened to Leia, he feels like he just loses people that he connects with. So he wants to be out there and just not be with anybody. Because in the scene, at some point where he's arguing with Carol, he says, I know where I belong. And I think he's meaning he belongs out here. Because this takes place, like this episode, when it's not a flashback, takes place like after the Whisperer War.
Yeah.
Where we saw all of that.
And after episode 17.
That's after he had been out there on his own for like 7 years with Leia for a while now. But he had been out there, then he came back to his main group for the Whisperer War, and now this is after that. So it's coming back to that cabin and all those memories flooding back into his mind. That is in that moment with Carol. He's getting aggravated with her because of things that she did, right or wrong. We're not here to judge Carol, but he's getting aggravated with her, and in the moment he's just upset and angry, and he's saying to her, I know where I belong out here, because everybody that not everybody, because he hasn't lost Carol or other people.
A lot of people though.
But yeah, he's lost a lot of people. Merle, Rick, Leia, I'm sure others too.
Beth, Glenn.
Yeah, Beth. What's the Denise? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Who's like the Dr. at Alexandria basically for a while. But yeah, he just loses lots of people, and he feels like this is where he truly belongs. He shouldn't be with the group. So it's sad. Yeah, that's why it's sad.
It's really shot through the heart.
The beginning of the episode, when Carol gets on the back of the motorbike with Daryl, she puts something in his bag. She I don't know if it was opened or she opened it up real briefly, but they clearly show she shoved something in the bag, and I don't know if she closed it or not. But I was like, what did she put in the bag? I thought they were going to reference that later.
I didn't notice that.
But maybe Carol's now going to leave, or she was like on the fence about going somewhere before
She is known to leave
and
like
now
that.
she's going to because of this little argument that they had. But I want to know what's in there now.
Yeah, I didn't notice
They're probably
that.
not going to reveal anything.
So that was episode 18. It was really slow, but I still enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to the other episodes, especially the Gabriel and Aaron one, and definitely the Commonwealth one, and obviously here's Negan at the end. I think we've gotten past the more boring episodes, and we're going to get into the really good stuff, so I'm really looking forward to it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and with that being said, we'll see you in the next one.
That's life. That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May.